Experience Karen Hunter in a completely different way. Karen Hunter is awesome. The podcast.
If you like me on SiriusXM Urban View Channel 126, you're going to love me in Karen Hunter is Awesome. Hey, this is Karen Hunter, host of The Karen Hunter Show on SiriusXM's Urban View. Karen Hunter is Awesome is an actual podcast to bring heat and energy and knowledge and power. A 1-2 punch that I don't think you get anyplace else. Tell the truth. Check out the podcast wherever you get your podcast. You will not be disappointed.
People who have never protested before getting so angry that they begin to show up at these, right? So it may seem like it's a fruitless effort, but really it's trying to gain some momentum. And, I'm really bullish or bearish about what's going to happen. I mean, that's why I wanted to win in 24. And I said we should pull out every stop and be mean so that we can win in 24, because the prevention is going to be way worth the cure if Trump gets back into power. He may not certify elections. I don't know. Okay. I think they're going to get a big scare in Virginia this fall when negative partisanship hits them and they flip the state blue. And I'm expecting a banner year in Virginia for Democrats because the Trump backlash, especially on the economic stuff, is so big, right? And the purging of all the employees in Virginia. I'm afraid that after that, they may start really getting serious about refusing to certify elections. And it may sound crazy that they could do that, but folks, one of the things that people forget all the time in the Jan 6 stuff is that the Jan 6 was a capstone to a whole coup plan. And in that coup plan, in the middle of it, Trump was pushing different government agencies to pretend the election was stolen for him, to legitimize that, right? And in that process, he tried to hire Sidney Powell, who is like the woman behind the election fraud Dominion voting system lawsuit, right? He tried to put her as a special prosecutor so that she could seize voting machines from some of the swing states. So it's nerve-wracking, right? But we have to fight, because I got to tell you, there's nothing. It's going to be very, very difficult to recapture democracy in the modern day surveillance state that exists, okay? Like, we need to stop them here. We need to stop them now. And in order to do that, we really can't afford people who get it to tune out into too much personal self-care. I get this is my job, and I have to be stoic about it or I can't do it mentally. And many people are not wired that way. So give what you can, but not more than you should, right? In terms of that mental energy to the problem.
I'm putting up a church finger right now, Rachel.
So, hold on. People still fighting.
Hold on.
I'm sorry. I don't know what a church finger is. I just revealed myself, didn't I?
Don't go see sinners, Rachel. All right, listen. Yeah, there's too many cultural references. Here's how I see it. Black women, 92% showed up for this country and everybody in it.
Yeah, they always do.
Almost 80% of Black men showed up for this more than any other group.
Yes.
So us showing up didn't change anything. Now, whether it was the voting things were stolen, which I do believe there was some tinkering in different states, swing states. I do believe Starlink had something to do with it, but I don't want to be that person. This happened because there was not an overwhelming 90 million people sat home, and white women again voted against your bodies, your life, your freedom, and all of that.
Yep.
We did what we needed to do. We're going to always do. We're going to show up. There's early voting in Texas starts today. But we're just not going to be in them streets. We're not going to be vocal about it. And we are going to self-care because we deserve it.
Yeah,
we deserve to take the time. So y'all got the numbers. You make up 56% of the population. We make up 13 to 15 on a good day.
No doubt.
Right?
Yep.
So let's see y'all fix it.
No. I mean, if I was an activist Black woman, if I was you, Karen, I mean, I would be enraged at white women. I do want to point something out. It's an education divide. So we talk about it like it's a working class problem, but it's not a working class problem. It's an education divide. Propaganda that's being pumped out by that side really impacts people who haven't had the opportunity to get a liberal arts education, learn how to do research and verify. right?
Rachel, hold on. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Well, listen, that doesn't mean everybody who doesn't have a college degree, okay?
No, I don't believe
Listen,
it. I don't believe
when
that
you
it's
look
education. I
at
don't
the
believe it's education.
data, when you look at the data, college-educated white women did not vote for Trump. Okay, they
That's
voted,
true.
and not just not voted for Trump. That's the biggest gap, 36%, like with Black women, college-educated white women, right? So we have to be specific about who we have to reach, and who we have to reach, guys. I mean, here's the thing. Like, we got data dumps after the election, and we know exactly what Kamala was running on and what ads they run. And, you know, the Obama bros came in with the joy, and they, you know, hoping to do Barack Obama 2.0. And she only had 30 days, right? So it's not like they had a long time, but they ditched the Project 2025 strategy and started really focusing on what the media was telling them to do, which was define Kamala Harris, right? And that, so you see in the spending that we were going positive, defining Kamala and doing economic opportunity messaging, and they were doing anti-trans stuff, defining us as radicals. And so when the data came out afterwards, there's a couple of data points I really want to share with you. Number one, 60% of swing voters in the exit polling said that they had a favorable memory of Trump's first term. Okay. And you read the book, so you know that that's because they don't read or watch any news. They're like many millions of Americans. They don't do any of this ever. They don't read the New York Times, right? So they thought, well, Trump was good on the economy, and I don't remember anything else. I mean, sounds unbelievable, but true. And then the other thing in the data that we found was really fascinating. It's a graph that's like kind of maps out when you ask a person, which party is better at Social Security, right? And it maps out if they said Republican or Democrat. Well, they did it for a bunch of issues, okay? Here's some really disturbing news about our messaging. Voters are just as likely to say that Republicans will protect Social Security as they are about Democrats. The same thing is about education, the same issue about student loans, the same issue about Medicare and healthcare in general. That is wild. That means when you call people, like, or your average person is just as likely to say Republicans are good for me economically. So, you know, obviously we've dropped the ball on that. There's only one issue, by the way, that voters were clearly able to articulate for us. And meanwhile, for them, it was inflation, economy. It was all like exactly what the electorate needed, right? And that's LGBTQ issues. Now, I am a flaming liberal. I support the right of gay people, trans people, whatever, right? It's a great brand to have as a human being. I am glad that when somebody thinks of Democrat, they're thinking of somebody who supports marginalized groups, right? But it's not a great brand to take to a bunch of racist white people, and white people
That part.
are racist, right? Like, there's a racist
that part. That's why I say the education doesn't matter, because still 35% of those educated women voted for Trump.
Yes, no doubt.
92% of Black women, so in education notwithstanding, understood the assignment. 35% still with an education, because racism it trumps all things.
It does.
Apparently.
Yeah, it does. I mean, what is their message, right? Their message is this: dear suburban white people, they're gonna replace you. They're gonna be the minority, and then they're gonna turn this retribution hose on you. I mean, that's what they're doing.
That's it.
That's it. Story, right?
So if we sit there, Rachel, then the fight has to be right there.
Yes.
All this other stuff is noise. So how do you stop that person from fearing me coming into their neighborhood and ruining it?
Well, there's a debate about.
Nice to meet you, Rachel. I want to jump in real quick. Or is that the game? Because your subtitle on your book is How to Save Democracy by Beating Republicans at Their Own Game. So is the game that we're making those who are sitting in fear via narratives no longer afraid? Is the game that we get just as nasty? Is the game that we dumb down our messaging? Is the game? So that's the part I'm curious about. Like, well, what is the game? Because the idea of the negative partisanship, I believe, that concept around like, you know, I don't necessarily agree with my team, but I don't like you more than I disagree with my team. So Give me a little bit. I know we got a short amount of time left, but
Yeah, and
what
it's
you
not
give me?
a warm and fuzzy thing. It's not race class narrative where we're gonna, make a shared class identity and we're all gonna live in kumbaya. And I think that work has value at deep canvassing levels, but not in the electoral context. And here's why. We're not going to make them out racist. Okay? Like they're fucking racist and it's not going to change. Also the sexism bias, right? So instead, what the plan is, or what do you do, and you ask specifically about, is instead of them being left in an information space where they're hearing about policy proposals and bipartisanship and strong biographical characters. I flew a fighter jet. And on this side, they're hearing Democrats are going to replace you with Latinos and then make you the minority, right? Like they can't hear this in a sound environment like that. And so you acknowledge that, number one. And number two, you come around and you give them something else to fear, right? And what do they fear? They fear shit for themselves, because they're only 24% of the population of this country on the bell curve of ideology are people who are liberally oriented, right? So like we are in that bell curve. We're in like the outlying part of this bell curve of empathy, sympathy, care about outgroups. That is not a psychological trait that many people share, right? So the answer is you come in to that voting block, you put their attention on something that favors us, and then you wedge that issue to make them hate the Republican Party, fear the Republican Party, and vote Democrat by default. It's not a warm and fuzzy strategy, but it wins shit, okay? And it just won
period.
shit.
Okay, so I'll support that. I ain't gonna be in the streets doing it, but I will support it from afar, and I appreciate the work that you're doing. Hit them where it hurts. Get the book. It is stirring up people's feelings. Let's get it going. Rachel Bidacoffer is an accomplice, not just an ally. Thank you for being here today. I appreciate you.
Experience Karen Hunter in a completely different way. Karen Hunter is awesome. The podcast.
If you like me on SiriusXM Urban View Channel 126, you're gonna love me. And Karen Hunter is awesome. Hey, this is Karen Hunter, host of the Karen Hunter Show on SiriusXM's Urban View. Karen Hunter is Awesome is an actual podcast to bring heat and energy and knowledge and power. A 1-2 punch that I don't think you get anyplace else. Tell the truth. Check out the podcast wherever you get your podcast. You will not be disappointed.